going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have PayPal warns consumer spending is about to fall sharply. And we know that 2022 is going to be the start of the worst time in U.S. economic history, and remember the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have Grayscale, speaking of the Fed coin. Would it hurt companies like PayPal? No, because we know PayPal is doing what? Planning to get into stocks. We know Paxos is going to be doing real-time settlement. And you guys who've been with me from the beginning know I did a couple of videos on the 3-day settlement with stocks and all the fraud that goes in. But when it comes to crypto, everything's going to be real time. Remember I stated, you're going to get paid on a daily basis. No more weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. And then also we have the politicians investing in crypto. They get all the insider information. That's the reason why they buy stocks, sell stocks right before the crash. And the same thing what happens with crypto. The politicians play the Hegelian dialectic to plant doubt in your mind. Now that it's time to turn on the switch of crypto is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. But remember who told you first. He wrote about it a long time ago. The Crypto Teacher, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Talking about PayPal, actually, and their earnings. When you start to think about a world where the Federal Reserve might adopt a digital dollar, if that actually comes to pass, does that just wreck a business like PayPal? Does that wreck so many of these businesses because it just compresses the margin almost down to nothing?
It'd be tough to say the direct impact on PayPal directly. I would instead zoom out and say the emergence of a digital dollar or a federal-backed digital asset, we actually believe creates a tailwind for investors to think about decentralized applications. So companies like PayPal and others are already including decentralized protocols like Bitcoin and others in their business model. And certainly shedding light on the use of digital assets, we think is an enablement factor that does give investors more comfort. But tough to say precisely on the exact business at PayPal or other companies like it.
Maybe not PayPal, but more broadly, wouldn't you argue that a digital dollar both could potentially crowd out other crypto in some regard, and secondarily, completely crowd out margin because that is the business currently?
I totally disagree with you, Andrew. Not crowding out, but instead actually shedding light on the usage of this technology. It would almost be an enablement factor here to really look at the underpinnings of blockchain technology and also shedding light on the difference between federal or fiat-backed assets as well as decentralized assets that we see like Bitcoin. We have to remember that a lot of the ethos of this ecosystem is about creating a more inclusive, more equitable financial system. And so the more that we see adoption around this, the more that those ideas pervade investors and users.
And the Philadelphia Inquirer raised some questions about your investment in cryptocurrency at a time that you've also been advocating to kind of keep a hands-off approach to what happens with cryptocurrency. First of all, it looks like you own somewhere between $2,000 and $30,000 of crypto that you bought. I don't know if you're still actively trading it.
Yeah, actively trading it would be a huge exaggeration. That piece is a ridiculous piece. They're just trying to sensationalize something that's not very sensational. Here's the thing. Ever since I could first accumulate any savings, I had a very simple strategy: diversify, because I've been doing other things rather than evaluating companies and picking stocks. So I've always had a diverse portfolio. It seems to me the crypto assets are here to stay, and a thoroughly diversified portfolio should have some. I have always, I think you know this, Becky, I've always been an advocate for free markets, limited government, lighter regulation, lower taxes. That goes back to when I first ran for the House in the 1990s. I still believe that. That isn't going to change. It still applies across the economy. And this is a completely specious argument in this newspaper.
You know, I understand that it's less than 1% of your portfolio. I get that.
Right.
But I think it does come to a broader issue about the appearance of impropriety, or just about whether Congress should be able to trade in any of this stuff while they have the ability to regulate any of these things. I mean, I can't own stocks. I'm only allowed to own Comcast or ETFs, or, you know, I own investment funds that are like broad tracking the index. That's it. Because the concern is I could say something that would influence it. I think you probably have the potential to have a much greater influence than I would over some of these things. And I think it's questions that have been raised on both sides
Becky,
of the aisle.
You know.
Well, it's on both sides of the aisle. Nancy Pelosi has a huge portfolio. Should she be able to continue to trade, or should her husband be able to trade?
You know, we can shut this all down and forbid members of Congress from doing it. We can continue to make more reasons for people just not participate in public office. I'm not sure that's a great idea. We have a very extensive disclosure regime. Every transaction has to be reported. All assets have to be reported. People can see what members of Congress do, and they can draw their own conclusions.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. Long COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.